Hello everyone, this is Max. You are watching EquityMatch online live pitch events. Today we have 4 great founders coming from Europe and US. And before introducing them, everyone wants to come to pitch, please send your email to pitch@equitymatch.co and we'll be more than pleased to welcome you. If you want to raise any question to your founders, you can do, and we will bring your question to them for a very precise answer. Also, we are streaming on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X. So we are so excited, and I'm so excited to start today. And let me start with introducing investor guest. Dean, how's it going?
I'm pretty good, Max. How are you, sir?
Oh, good. Thank you for coming, Dean. If you want to give a short introduction to yourself before we start.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to everyone joining the call today. Thank you for joining. I look forward to hearing the pitches today, especially around healthcare. As I've shared before, my wife is a physician here in Dallas, Texas, and I'm very interested in that sector. I'm looking forward to hearing your pitches and especially anything that can help save the earth around sustainability and net zero as far as removing carbon from the environment. I'm looking forward to hearing your pitch as well.
Thank you so much, Dean. So let's start without wasting time. Let me introduce our founder number one. We talk about sustainability. Lukas Jasiūnas, co-founder and CEO ecorbio. Located in Cyprus, clean tech and biochemicals is the sector, and the investment round is a seed round of 300K in euros. How's it going, Lukas?
All good, all good. Thank you so much. Happy to be here today and break up the session with some sustainability news. My background is in engineering and research, and I'm happy to share what we do at ecorbio today. So without any further ado, I'm happy to introduce ecorbio. We are a Cypriot startup based on clean tech solutions to displace conventional chemicals towards a greener economy. Essentially, the first problem that we chose to target is the unsustainable supply chain of polyurethane, a widely used polymer. Producers of polyurethane typically want to become greener, have to become greener globally, but still cannot often afford upcoming bio-alternatives or simply face supply chain issues. So the solution that we are developing is a technology to produce biopolyols, a group of chemicals, a key ingredient in the synthesis of polyurethane that can be produced regionally everywhere in the world and of course can be scaled to meet the industrial needs. We want to make sure that we're up to a third cheaper than the upcoming bio alternatives, but still price competitive with petroleum commercial analogs. And of course, doing all of this while becoming still green, ensuring that we make use of circular economy principles and industrial symbiosis. Until now, we've been validating the technology at pilot scale in Cyprus, where we were able to uncover some key insights into how to upcycle waste biomass into biochemicals. Of course, we're also learning a lot on the engineering front. Operating at a ton per day scale gives us a lot to learn about challenges and how to overcome them. And of course, learning much more about the real production impact in terms of production emissions and costs, and of course, the potential sales that we can approach the industrial stakeholders with. So just a bit about the chemical itself. As mentioned, we do need to produce more sustainable but still high quality polyurethane that is still price competitive. So we're developing Crudial, a type of biochemical that can be used in very many of the applications of polyurethane. For example, we're starting already with a couple in the construction and building sectors. Through European projects, we're developing final formulations and applications that enable more sustainable construction materials, such as insulated sandwich panels, or appliances, such as solar water heaters or refrigerators. There, we're already seeing that we can displace up to a third of those conventional chemicals. And in more advanced applications, such as consumer goods produced through injection molding, or other thermoplastic polyurethane applications, such as in additive manufacturing, we're seeing that we're also capable to replace some of those conventional chemicals and reduce the overall footprint of these materials. So our end goal, of course, is to have a significantly positive environmental effect And we want to do that through averting or avoiding greenhouse gases by making sure that the suppliers and end users can choose a more sustainable ingredient in their polymers. Of course, along the way, we do want to be sustainable on the economic front as well, aiming to generate more than 100 million within the first 6 years, so as that we can reinvest in the R&D efforts and, of course, expand our portfolio. But none of this, of course, is possible without a well-functioning and quite diverse team. Besides myself and my co-founder, who has experience in entrepreneurship and serial startups, Panelist. He leads the ambition behind us, whereas I'm more of the critical eye. We, of course, have Elektra, who's in charge of making sure that we're compliant in terms of our financials, budgets, and, of course, timelines. We have Savas and Arestis, who are true gurus and masters of engineering, tackling all the upcoming challenges at the pilot facility, ranging all the way from automation and control through process engineering and, of course, downstream processing of the products. Finally, we have Michalis, who helps us make sure that we're really close with our end users, exploring how we can meet that product market fit and, of course, meet their technical demands. So this year, we've been focused on developing those end product formulations to gather that industry interest. Next year, we want to enter the market at low product volumes. And of course, a couple of years down the line, we want to make sure that we have a first production line up and running. So we're raising our seed round to upgrade our facility and make sure that our product quality is higher. We already have secured 300K from a national grant, but are still seeking 300K to make sure that we're flexible. We have that ability to adapt and, of course, have a bit of a healthy runway. So if any of that sounds interesting and you would like to join us in redefining waste and changing the polymer sector for the better, do reach out. Thanks. I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Lukas. Dean, it's all about you now.
Hey, Lucas, how are you, sir?
All good, thank you.
Hey, where are you guys currently headquartered?
We're in Cyprus, south of Europe.
Okay. Why did you guys select Cyprus?
We're incubated by a technological incubator down in Cyprus. They have the expertise of deep tech, especially when it comes to IoT and control. So we have that ad hoc support of the engineering staff and the facilities there. It's a really good sandbox to test things, quite literally.
Got you. So where eventually will you guys be manufacturing this product out of? Will it be Cyprus or somewhere else?
No, so for the first production line that I mentioned, we're going to place ourselves in mainland Southern Europe, probably places like France or Spain. That really makes sense so that we can get close to the supply chain. We don't have to ship anything around either upstream or downstream.
So will you guys have like manufacturing partners who, like you mentioned earlier, you plan on encasing this around refrigeration and things of that nature? Will you have licensing agreements with companies or other manufacturers in other countries to make sure that your supply chain doesn't get disrupted like during COVID?
Yeah, definitely. We want to make sure that we're robust in terms of, how we can supply the raw materials, and are exploring those opportunities right now to see how can we best match those, on the one side to add value to the byproducts and waste of different stakeholders, but on the other side to also make sure that they have that sustained option for a more sustainable ingredient.
So I heard you say earlier that you guys are looking to launch next year. What's preventing you from launching today?
As I mentioned, that's a great question and fairly easy to answer because we're still developing the end market fit. Let's say for those specific applications that I mentioned. Now, polyurethane is used widely, but we want to make sure that the first niche that we target is one that we can have the most impact in terms of CO2 averted, right? So we want to make sure that we can displace as much of these conventional chemicals as possible from day one.
So how do you differentiate yourself that's away from your competition with products that are currently in the market and established supply chains that are already there?
We want to make sure that we're completely price competitive, meaning that we can sell a more sustainable product at the price of the current fossil-derived chemical. And we want to do that by making sure that upstream we take very low-value waste biomass instead of food competitive or virgin material.
So from that sounds like a very impressive way of entering into this space. I'm just curious, how do you? I mean, I didn't see any sales or marketing guys on your team. So how do you plan on getting this out to the masses and getting your message out to the masses?
Another great question. You're spot on. We do have a commercial manager on board who helps us establish those relationships, but we definitely need to make sure that both of our initial investors and, of course, down the line, we do grow our team towards that direction. How do we actually scale the impact, right? So you're absolutely right. We do need a value-aligned investment from day one to help us grow and, of course, bringing up the team as well.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Luca. Thank you, Dean. I'll move to our second founder. Bruce Elliott, co-founder and CEO Memory Lane Games, headquartered in ISOMN, United Kingdom, Health and Human Services, seed around 400K in pounds. How's it going, Bruce?
Wonderful. Thank you for having us here. I'm so pleased to share a bit about Memory Lane Games, our platform for managing and monitoring cognitive decline with games.
Let's go.
All right. So is this full screen? Everybody can see it, I hope. So back in 2019, I was sitting in a pub in the UK where I've been living for 20 years with a friend of mine. I'm talking about our mums, and his mum was 90 at the time with vascular dementia. My mom was 86 back in Canada, and we're talking about what they had in common. And of course, it was love of old family photos. And with a gaming background, I thought, I wonder if we can turn those photos into games. My friend said, actually, we're turning memories into games. And so that's what we did. We built an app for our mums, made some games, and then it took off with COVID. So we've had now 100,000 downloads of our app, over 800 hours of monthly gameplay across 100 countries. That's 800 hours of impact every month we're delivering with people with dementia and their caregivers. We have recurring SaaS revenues in the UK, Canada, and the US. And we've been featured on BBC News in the UK, ITV News in the UK, and recently Fox News in the US, where our market is really starting to take off. And what we've been recognized for is uniquely improving socialization in dementia with games. We get people with dementia talking again. It seems simple, and we've been recognized for our simplicity, but it's an incredibly simple but scalable solution. So our big idea is turning memories into games. And let me give you an example. We were at a football club in the UK. They have a memory cafe to bring in their fans with dementia, and the caregivers sit on the side and have a break. At our table was Colin. He was introduced to us as nonverbal, but he'll probably enjoy this. So he grabs the iPad, he starts flicking through, finds our 1960s Finish the Music game, and starts playing. And then he looks over at me a few minutes later and says, Elvis or Roy Orbison's a way better singer than Elvis. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're absolutely right, Colin. And it was crazy. And at the end, there's a woman in the corner crying, and we go over, is everything okay? And she goes, yes. I've been working with Colin for 3 months. I've never heard him complete a sentence. We found something he wanted to talk about, and that's the secret of Memory Lane Games. Simple, fun games, remotely monitoring 7 clinical data sets, and our vision is games as medicine. We harness powerful personalization with 3,200 Gen AI localized games on hobbies, interests, topics in almost every city in the world now. Solutions from the App Store, not the drugstore. Personalized, localized gamification to calm and distract. That's what we deliver. And our clinical trial from the UK, 92% of caregivers felt the app made them more relaxed, 83% laughed more, 67% made them happier, and 66% found the app worthwhile. But over half, 58% of caregivers believe the person with dementia communicated more, and that's music to our ears. We won the Mayo Clinic and ASU MedTech Accelerator this time last year. We were recognized as simple yet scalable by the Mayo Clinic judges. Our team, myself as head of CEO and head of sales, I led an e-commerce scale up to 1 million users in a London IPO. Our chief clinical officer is a nurse, dementia clinician, and she ran 8 big pharma dementia trials in her career. And our chairman comes out of the health plan innovation sector in the UK. This app makes taking care of my patients easier. It improves their mood. This is from a neurologist that we've been working with. And we've also had early indications for stroke rehab, Parkinson's, and autism. But we're focused on dementia today. Why now? There's no cure for dementia, and the cases are set to triple globally by 2025, or 2050, sorry. In the US, Medicare just launched its biggest ever dementia care reimbursement program, in funding respite for caregivers, where we support caregivers very well. Health plans are being interested in memory care as an employee benefit, and we've had discussions with Blue Cross Blue Shield about differentiating their Medicare Advantage plans in the US. And large video game companies are finally interested in games for good and in memory lane games. Gen AI is perfectly timed for us to enable hyper-personalization. And prescription apps. In 2023, the UK purchased 1 million prescriptions of an app for sleep. So digital health is turning the corner. Our raise, we've raised 1.5 million equity to date. We're currently raising a 400 grand convertible loan note ahead of a 5 million equity round later in the year. And we have 280K available of that. The rest came from our existing investors. Our game changer is games as medicine. We showed in our clinical trial 92% of cases of moderate dementia at least maintained the severity of dementia. 17% showed a decline in severity. ASU is running this clinical trial preparing for the FDA right now, and this has potentially significantly improved results than Big Pharma. We have a SaaS platform now, and will have us in a sustainable business by the end of the year. Our B2C direct-to-consumer app business is just launched, and we think that'll take us into profitability nicely, but it's the clinical program that will create a really highly valuable business for us. Our games get people talking about food, music, hobbies, for veterans, about places that are familiar with, and that's our presentation. Thank you very much for thinking about memory lane games.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Dean, please.
Sure. So I don't know if you're familiar with my background, Bruce, but I used to work at Microsoft. And Microsoft happens to own Xbox. Okay? So one of the questions I have for you, how do you plan to keep ahead? Because I didn't see anything in your presentation that says, hey, I want to partner with the gaming companies, because I don't currently have a gaming background as far as keeping these games up to date and trendy and, exciting, right? So how do you guys plan to fight off that competitive issue and that high risk that you guys are creating for yourself over there?
So we've got 3 channels. We're going into memory care, so care homes and in-home care now, licensing to agencies and groups. We also see a lot of interest in health plans, the Medicare Advantage plans and such, memory care as an employee benefit. But because we're games as medicine, that's medicine. But the game side is looking interesting. And we've had some amazing conversations. And it's partly because of the games for good interest from the large gaming companies. But the other thing we do is we bring personalization, we bring intergenerational play, and caregivers are often gamers. So there is a connection there that we've been seeing.
Yeah, if I'm you, I explore that possibility, because you haven't identified anybody on your team that is in gaming, right? So
our board of advisors has quite a few gaming, deep gaming experts, because we see that as a factor.
Yeah, for you, I call that out, because that is high risk, okay, for an investor. The other concern I have is that I understand occupational therapy, right? And I understand the concept of it. But in neurology, you need to identify someone who is on your team, because that presents high risk as well. I understand having someone who has participated in clinical trials before, but she's not a doctor.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're working with Arizona State's Faculty of Nursing Innovation, leading researchers in dementia and Alzheimer's there for our next clinical trial, which is going to replicate the results we had from the UK, and they've already agreed to that, and we're just preparing the submission to the FDA right now. But we have a lot of excitement from the Alzheimer's and dementia researchers in the US in particular.
Well, another thing that you're going to probably want to add to this, and as I read your deck, right? Think of the governing bodies of all major sports, okay? Especially football, rugby, and soccer. Where one of is always heading, right? And the correlation between CTE, dementia, Alzheimer's, and most neurological failures, right? So consider the governing bodies of FIFA, NBA, NFL, those guys, because
rugby as well is a leading opportunity. So we think that's pretty cool. We had a meeting with one of the leading computerized cognitive rehab specialists in the US who said our errorless learning models were perfect for stroke rehab and concussion. Because if you get one of our answers wrong, it just gently disappears. It doesn't tell you did something wrong. And that was errorless learning, which was said that's amazing for motivation to continue therapy in stroke and concussion. And we said, look, today we're focused on dementia, but we really can manage and monitor cognitive decline across neurological conditions.
Right. And another consideration for you is explore the monetization of AI and research, right? Because that's going to be a major function for you guys going forward. Remember, data and AI are the new currency. I need to see that. If I'm an investor, I need to see that in your deck. How do you plan to monetize that and keep current and sell that information legally, securely to someone who's going to benefit from that research?
I'll give you two examples. One, we won we're finalists in the UK's biggest AI for Dementia prize, the Longitude Prize for Dementia. And the second is that we are just moving to digital biomarkers. So we've been in discussions with ARDC universities to look at how gameplay metrics and how they change can be predictors of changes in underlying health in populations that have a hard time communicating. And we think it's more straightforward than you might think.
What's preventing you guys from just hitting the market today? I mean, let's just get.
So we're in the market today, but we're a small startup and we need some more marketing money. And we're building we're expanding into the US. That's where all our demand is coming from. Over half of our users and over half of most of the revenues are coming from the US. So we're just building out our footprint in the US right now. And that's probably the one thing that's holding us back, because our clinical piece is on track. Our health plans conversations are coming, our care home business is coming, but we really need just to ramp ourselves up in the States.
Okay. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Excellent insights. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Thank you, Dean. Let's move to our founder number 3, and Sandra Challma, CEO of Cognes Medical Solutions, headquartered in Stockholm, Sweden. Health tech, pre-seed round, and the ask is €500,000. How's it going, Sandra?
Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here and excited to share my story, going from academia to the entrepreneurship jungle. So it all started when I started witnessing my mother struggle with cognitive decline, and my emotions ranged from sadness to frustration because it took nearly 2 years to uncover her dementia diagnosis, a scenario far too common today. The wait times for cognitive assessment can span over months or even years, leading to a point of crisis before receiving care. Now we have the technology to change this. We just need to utilize it. I'm Sandra Challma, and today I'll introduce you to Cognes, an innovative solution to address dementia's research advancements. So in a world where 55 million people are diagnosed with dementia, the economic toll exceeds 1.3 trillion euros annually, with projections indicating a tripling of these numbers by 2050, like we just heard. Yet despite these staggering impacts, the effective treatments remain elusive. And why is that? Well, the answer lies in inefficient and costly process of diagnosis. On average, 10,000 euros per case, and the alarming statistics of 60% being diagnosed too late. The failure of 98% in clinical trials are delaying disease-modifying treatments introduction to the market. So there's a great problem here. And understanding the stark contrast between mild cognitive impairment and normal aging underscores the critical window for effective treatment interventions. However, the current landscape of assessments often detects dementia at advanced brain decline stages. This is thwarting the progress of pharmaceutical trials being limited by participant recruitments. And here lies our opportunity to flip the script by providing a remote screening tool that not only accelerates patient recruitment, but also slashes trial failure rates and costs. So our screening solution, harnessing the power of machine learning and computer vision, delivers swift facial scanning, machine learning analysis, and instant results, all within the palm of your hand. And with our EPO patent secured and 2 more pending, Cognes stands in the forefront of innovation in healthcare research. So it's based on scientific advancements on facial recognition emerging as a reliable screening base. And our pilot study yielded a 71% accuracy rate, which is promising compared to traditional screening methods today. Our sights are set on transforming the landscape of clinical trials. By pre-screening candidates, accelerating recruitments, and identifying asymptomatic individuals for novel therapies, we aim to cut trial costs by 50% and usher in a new era of innovation and efficiency. So market research paints a picture of vast potential, a projected need of 150 million screening in upcoming years when new treatments are becoming available. The opportunity we're poised to seize with our target capturing a 5% market share. And the market estimation indicates an annual growth of 29% for cognitive assessment tests in digital solutions. So up until today, we've achieved significant milestones. We've developed our machine learning model. We've developed an app that we're now aiming to validate in clinical trials together with our research partners. Upon successful validation of our dementia screening models and obtaining regulatory clearance, we plan on expanding our technology to address other neurodegenerative diseases as well that are identifiable by facial recognition. And the small but expanding team behind Cognes consists of myself as a CEO with a background in neuropsychology and experimental research. We have experts in machine learning, research, software development, and strategic medical consulting, with a proven track record and experience in the medtech industry. So we're now inviting strategic partners to join our journey as we raise 500,000 euros to propel us through our MVP, so minimum viable product development this year, as we collect data with our research partners and international partners. So I invite you to join our journey in this transformative era. Together we can rewrite the narrative of dementia screening and pave the way for a brighter and more hopeful future. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Sandra. I give all the space to Dean, so you can start the Q&A.
Sure. So you've hit one of my favorite topics around cognitive learning and cognitive discovery. And I was doing some research the other day, and I wanted to ask you this question. Right now, to bring a drug or treatment to the market costs a life sciences company about $12 billion, right? And you identified that you want to reduce that cycle by 50%. What are your plans? Because they seem pretty aggressive, right? Especially for a startup that has no real market share and you haven't built up trust yet. How do you plan on doing that?
So we're actually in dialogues with international partners right now. We're working on possible collaborations with, for example, Davos Alzheimer's Collaborative. We're in dialogues with major projects such as Predictom and Predem and Global Alzheimer's Platform, and introducing our screening solution for trials. So increasing the recruitment for trials is one of the major advancement hopes actually today, because they're, like you mentioned, they're spending a lot of money on these trials and drug developments, and statistics estimate that 50 to 70% of these total trial costs actually go towards recruitment of patients, because it's the eligible participants that are introduced to these clinical trials, they're in early stage, and this is the hardest stage to identify today. And these recruitment phases are spanning over, on average, 3.1 years, which is estimated to prolong the recruitment phase, increase costs, and aiming to streamline or stratify patients into the clinical trials is a major call for action today in clinical research for dementia and Alzheimer's and neurodegenerative disease, because these are when effective treatments can actually be implemented, it's at early stages. So this is, it's a growing market today. It's really amazing to see what's happening with the development. So we're, I think, in a good space in the market as an early stage startup.
Yes, you are. So let me ask you another question, especially around cognitive services, right? The cloud technical providers such as Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and IBM. I didn't see anywhere in your deck that you considered partnering with them to bring your excellence up and help you increase your capabilities around ML and AI in that space. What are your plans, if any, to partner with those companies that have already built these frameworks for companies like yours?
Well, we're actually internally developing the machine learning model. I'm not sure how that answers your question, but we are considering research development as our first step.
Your question: How many researchers do you currently have on your team?
We have 2 machine learning experts and a few advisors on board, actually, with machine learning expertise. So we're still very early.
Let me give you some advice.
Yes.
You should consider looking at those 4 companies I just ran off, because from a technology standpoint, they're going to expedite your ability to deliver. Remember, in the investment world, it's time to market. That's what we consider, something that we would want to invest in. And having frameworks that have already been built doesn't mean you have to recreate the wheel, is what I'm telling you. So look at the potential of leveraging technology that's available to you to expedite your time to value and bringing you to market faster, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Great point, actually. It's all these potential collaborations are...
Yeah, there's a lot of advancement that's already been done on your behalf, and it's best for you to partner with the 4 companies I just ran off, because remember, no one knows who Cognes is today, right? And when you come into the investment world, it's all about trust. And when you are looking to get into the market and build your brand, people are looking to build trust with you guys. But when you have partners like Amazon, Microsoft, IBM, and Google, now they add a trust factor to you guys. And they're able to kick doors down that you're not able to do. So think of that when you're launching a company, because most people they think they can do it by themselves. And that's how most companies fail, having that mindset. So you want to have the growth mindset that says, hey, I know if I strategically partner with these companies, and you can partner with all 4 and use their infrastructure, and they will help you fund some of the development that you're doing. Think about that. Cash that doesn't have to come out of your pocket.
That's a great point.
You don't have to give up in your company. So think of all of that, because that's invaluable.
Absolutely, yeah. We are also considering all those IP strategies and moving forward. That's a great strategy to consider. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm very excited about what you've created. It's a step forward. And also, as I shared with the other guys, consider your tool as a rehab tool for athletes. anything around the head and the mind. If you partner with the governing bodies of soccer, global soccer, FIFA, right? In the United States, the NFL, anything that involves using your head to touch a ball or collisions, your tool will help. Occupational therapy, all of those things, your tool can help solve. So think of other markets other than the ones helping. Yeah, helping the life science companies is great, but look at other ways that you can create a revenue stream or monetize the solution that you're building. But you're on the right path, my friend. I love what you feel.
I'm glad to hear. Thank you for your feedback.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Dean. I'm moving to our last two co-founders, of course, last only because the sequence, but indeed not the least. Frank Steinmetz, CEO and co-founder of CURALUNA. Jörg, Besier, CTO and co-founder of CURALUNA. Headquarters is Frankfurt, Germany. Health tech is the sector, and the late seed round is the investment round. So, seeking 4 million euros. How's it going, guys?
We are doing great. We're doing great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. I leave this space to you, Dean, if you want to introduce yourself, and after Dean will follow up with the questions. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Dean, for all the good ideas that you put in already. Hello, everybody, and many thanks to you both, Bruce and Sandra, for your wonderful contributions. Many of our customers will face exactly the same dementia problems you described so well. Therefore, let's work together. My name is Frank, and with us is Jörg as our CTO, and we both are co-founders of CURALUNA. We developed the world's first comprehensive personal digital care assistant in order to make life easier for caregivers and to make life healthier for all people in need of care. But let me put the most important first, the reason why. In my case, it is very personal. My daughter Luna got a bladder infection with 7 months. And the reason was an E. coli bacterium. It was a pain in the neck. And the $1 million question was, how to prevent this from happening again? Nothing was on the market. So we tried out sensors for our own, just as parents. And yes, you can measure inside humidity of a diaper from outside. But then a friend of mine, Peter, came and asked, have you ever thought about the elder care? And no, I haven't. But at this very moment, out of the sudden, it was clear, and maybe you have this moments as well in your life. This is the next big thing in elder care for millions of people. It's a huge market and tons of money to make. And indeed, the more you dig into elder care, the more evident the problems become, as you see on the slide right now. But here comes the solution that, thanks God, Jörg is going to explain right now.
Thanks, Frank. And yes, entering the Personal Digital Care Assistant, or the PDCA for short, our vision is clear. We want to digitalize all aspects of home elderly care that can be efficiently managed online, not only incontinence management. For us, this isn't about technology. It's about giving families back their time for what truly matters, spending quality time with their loved ones. Our PDCA solution stands out by monitoring seniors through smart wearables that work everywhere and require no additional setup, providing smart alerts for care actions, streamlining who does what and when, reducing stress and confusion, automating replenishment of care supplies like diapers, ensuring essentials are always on hand, and organizing daily routines for both seniors and caregivers, making care seamless. But we don't stop there. Recognizing the collaborative nature of elderly care, we are bringing everyone onto our secure platform, from families to healthcare providers, each with their own PDCA. This interconnected ecosystem is powered by the latest technologies in AI and IoT, tailored closely with user feedback to to ensure we're meeting real needs, condition by condition, starting with incontinence management. As we pioneer in this space, we have secured our innovation with a European patent valid until 2038 at the moment, but this is just the beginning. Our roadmap includes solutions for other care conditions like pressure ulcer, dehydration, fall prevention, just to name a few, all sharing the same secure platform. Leveraging our platform's flexibility and the insights gained from our users and partners, we are confident to be able to build these additional solutions at high speed.
And guys, the market is huge and it's rapidly growing. In 10 years, we will play a significant role in a 60 billion euro market. We are in the B2C business. We earn our money by a subscription model, leading to a high net customer value, close up to 1,000 euro. And it's highly scalable. By use cases, which were mentioned already by Jörg, and by many countries. Why many countries? Because it's easy to replicate to other countries since we not depend on reimbursements by insurers. The use of funding is calculated in detail. We are a former Accenture and McKinsey guy, so we did the math. Product development first, market second, ourselves third. So now we are raising about 4 million. And there is a clear plan for all aspects of the firm, for sales, for product development, for all the regulatory stuff, which is important because we are a medical device. And for financing, of course, as well. So 1 million we already raised last year. And this brought us to the point that we are with a prototype. Now we are raising 4 million, and there are many ways to join us. For bigger tickets, a direct equity investment. For smaller tickets, also a convertible loan agreement with a 20% discount and a 9% interest rate. The team does not consist only of Jörg and me, but also of David as our head of finance and a medical device regulation professional as well. So we are really happy to call Gareth part of our team, and you can see him on the right side of the picture. So thanks again for listening. Let's have a short, insightful discussion. Your questions, please.
Thank you so much, Frank. Jörg. Dean, please.
Hey, I love your presentation, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have some of the same questions as I've shared with the others prior to you. I see your team is very impressive, have a very impressive background. So based on what you guys have built, what cloud service technology are you guys deploying to help grow your business?
So we are actually working with partners on this one, obviously. So not the four of us are doing this directly. But we're developing a platform-independent technology based on containers that we can run on any infrastructure as a service. So we tried that with Microsoft Azure at the moment, but we will exactly run with the same kind of things in Google Cloud or in Amazon Cloud, for instance.
Oh, perfect. I see one of your guys is over there, used to be on the IBM Cognes team. You may want to talk to IBM as well, since they have partnerships with all three of those companies.
Yes.
Don't leave Watson AI out of it, my friend.
Yeah, so basically the AI topic will be mostly about the dialogue engine that we are providing to interface with our data. Yeah? So we're obviously looking at the Gen AI opportunities that we have at the moment. We will provide not only a dashboard interface, but also a chat interface, yeah, that allows people to use either our application, chatting directly with a artificial intelligence chatbot over their situation and data, or even prolonging this case into platforms like WhatsApp, for instance. So you can actually invite the assistants into your family WhatsApp group, for instance.
So as far as like sharing data, especially since you guys are in Europe right now, I mean, have you considered using these frameworks, these cloud frameworks, these cloud partners to give you the security, the privacy of, you know, I'll just use the United States as an example, and then I'll use some of the European stuff, HIPAA, right? Being HIPAA compliant, and then having GDPR and having, you know, and privacy, protecting people's privacy. How have you given much thought to that? Because if you don't have that framework, you're not going to get approved. I don't care what you do.
Absolutely, you're absolutely spot on. Yeah, we gave a lot of thought around this. Yeah, so obviously we developed a data protection by design approach here. Yeah, so we are providing actually every customer with their separate insulated database version, and this way we can ensure that we are complying with or we can easily comply with the different laws. We have to do this anyway under medical device regulation, so you have to comply to these laws anyway. But we even taking a step further, trying to ensure that people actually have control over their own data, and we can nevertheless still ask them to share data when we, for instance, want to gather data for supporting clinical trials or other topics that could be interesting.
Yeah.
And one addition to this, it's not only a technical question, it's also a customer perception question, because perception is reality. And in particular, European customers like to have the data within their countries. So for example, for Germany, we are planning to work with the Deutsche Telekom, which has a big data center running, by the way, a green tech center running in Germany. So we can, although we use, of course, cloud systems, we can really confirm every customer that his data or her data are run within Germany, which makes selling much easier.
Yeah, and you hit one of the key points right out the park right there, because you're already using Azure, right? Azure has a German data center specifically covering that. So yes. Good catch there, my friend.
And Google, and I like the idea to partner with the big firms, because, for instance, Google invited us for the European Startup Program. Yeah. They have a program where they invited us, that they educate us in how to run the Google systems for winning customers.
Exactly.
You can tell to how to run the Google ads better than Google.
Exactly. And some of the key benefits that you've identified, right? It's the fact that you don't have to come out of pocket, because these guys are going to invest in you. And like I said earlier, you know, most people think, hey, I'm a startup and I have a great concept, but what they don't understand is people actually get fired when people make bad decisions. Okay. And if they buy you and no one trusts in you and your product doesn't go well, guess what? Somebody loses their job, right? Of course. You know, when you partner with the likes of the companies you identified, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and then IBM, and then you bring in that whole ecosystem, right? Their partners, the SI integration, and all the other capabilities that you will be able to enable, actually enables you to get traction and attack the market faster. And in the investment world, time to market. Remember that those words, time to market.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's exactly the reason why we partner on the sales side as well with the big home care companies. So they already own the company, the customers. So one way is, of course, to tackle the customers on our own, but the other way is to partner with the big organizations who own. In Germany, the biggest owns 180,000 incontinence customers. Right. And they want to sell us because their business is to sell up things like us.
Yeah. And then another organization that I don't know if you guys have given any thought to is AARP here in the United States, right? So they manage the conversation between the elderly population and and other companies. So that's a potential partnership, because
Yes.
when you guys are ready to launch from a marketing aspect, they're going to give you access to their customers.
Are you connected there to this kind of ecosystem? Because I mean, US of course is on our roadmap. So maybe you can give us a hand to coming to know the right people there.
Well, I would be happy to. And then also by partnering with the 4 tech companies, I said, remember, co-selling is a part of what they do. Yep. So a solution like what you guys have created enables you to go in with their sales teams and co-sell, and you provide, a different conversation that they're going to have with their customer.
Yes.
They're going to want to partner with you guys. Then, a lot of people take that for granted, but you have created something that they have not.
That's true. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
It's a great conversation. We should go on with that kind of conversation.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking to you again.
Thank you, Dean.
All righty, take care.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Jörg, Frank. We make sure the conversation will go on. But meanwhile, Frank, Jörg, we are bringing back the other 2 founders right now. Starting from Lukas. Lukas, in 20, maximum 30 seconds, the best elevator pitch ever in your life. Why invest in your startup and yourself, your team, of course?
Sure, Max. So we're developing technology to upcycle waste so that industrial stakeholders can pragmatically reduce their footprints right now. So we want to make sure it's high quality product that is scalable and sustainable, but at an affordable price. It's a no-brainer to reduce the impact.
Thank you so much, Luca. Bruce. Oh, you're muted.
There we go.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
With the backing of the Mayo Clinic, and we've just been accepted into the Texas Medical Center Innovation Lab, their go-to-market accelerator. We're seeing tremendous demand in the US, and the US has just launched its dementia guide reimbursement model for dementia care, which is really innovative and where we have a great fit. We think our expansion to the US is going to transform our business into profitability, and then with our clinical moat that we're developing with Arizona State University for our FDA trial, that's what's going to get really exciting in 2025.
Thank you, Bruce. Sandra.
Well, we're really trying to aim for an improved patient-centered care, providing treatments in terms of pharmaceuticals or non-pharmaceuticals interventions, such as we've heard here in the memory lane gains, for example, and other solutions that are emerging. But in order to get there to help these patients, we are looking to streamline identification. So improving with state-of-the-art technology, new emerging solutions, and collaborating internationally, just like we're doing kind of right now, getting connected, networking, and getting feedback and ideas. And this is just amazing, and we're looking forward to this really, really positive revolution happening right now in cognitive research.
Thank you, Sandra. Frank, Jörg, if you want to close today.
Yeah, there's everything there. I mean, there's a good business case with a very profitable case. It's very scalable. It makes sense for people, by the way, the product. But the most important thing is we are a very experienced team, and we know that we do not know everything. And plans are plans, and yes, it makes sense to make plans, but plans at the end it will come out differently, and we will be able to handle this.
Jörg, you want to close adding something else before we close?
So in the end, I think we are we are a very passionate team, and we have a great network. A lot of people behind us, and it's a very impactful market, and we want to make this work.
Thank you so much, guys. Dean, as we are very close to the end, do you want to give any more feedbacks, advices to the funders before we close?
Oh, most definitely. I enjoyed your presentations today, everyone. Definitely, everything that you're looking to create is venture scale. So you're heading in the right direction. What I would have you to do, just as a recommendation, we look at how you monetize your solutions, and then who strategically can enable you to gain faster traction. Remember, time to market is everything, right? And reevaluate your financial ask, because you need to dream big. And the market is very competitive right now, especially in the AI space. And people are zooming forward. So look at and be willing to take risks by investing and asking for more money, because time waits for no man or no woman.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dean. Frank, Jörg, Lukas, Bruce, and Sandra, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an excellent session. I really enjoyed, as Dan, as I suppose all of you and who everyone is watching today. For our audience, investors watching, and you can get in touch with our funders anytime you want. You can see again our pitch event in our YouTube channel. And as we give all the information, because we don't charge any form of success fee, so all the investment goes straight to the company. We don't deduct even a pound. So it can go straight to them or come to us, and we are more than happy to make a warm interaction. I think for today, we're done everything. Thank you again to everyone, and I'll see you next week. Actually, next week we pause in 2 weeks' time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Max.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Max.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you.